Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about Democrats versus Republicans. But before I get into that, I'm going to talk a little bit about what happened with my video. Everybody gets videos taken down on YouTube. It's not a strange event. We all deal with the censorship nowadays. And I'll probably do a video here in the future on censorship. But what happened was I said some stuff, and basically I uploaded the video. And for those of you who aren't familiar, an AI scans through your dialogue, everything you say, and then sends you a notification that your video checked out, it's good, everything's okay. And I got that check. So then I made the video public. And then about 15-20 minutes later, it had 12 views, I think. And then I got a notification saying it was being taken down. So that pretty much tells me that somebody reported the video. You know, somebody had an issue with something I said. YouTube didn't initially have an issue with anything I said. It was some butthurt, one of those hyper offended people that get offended on somebody else's behalf, or offended because, on behalf of the big establishments, the big corporations, because they need everyone's help. They're going to stand up for the institutions, that kind of person reported my video and had it and it was taken down. So to remedy that, I've posted that video to Rumble. You can just go in and type in Gen X Thinks into the Rumble search bar, and that channel will come up. And I'll be double posting all my videos to Rumble from now on. So please, if you're a fan of Rumble, then please consider going over there, and that way you can watch the videos that are banned by YouTube censorship platform. I'll attempt to put the link down in the description, but YouTube is funny about that. They won't let you put certain links down there, so I'll try. We'll see what happens. But I'll also just put the name of it up here if you just want to type that in directly. That's not the most efficient route, but I'll put it up there for anybody who's interested. Okay, so just find Gen X Thinks on Rumble if you want to see that video or any future videos that are taken down. And I'm treading the line now, so because of the content that I've been talking about here recently. So I might be a victim of censorship here in the coming weeks. So for then, if you haven't checked out Rumble, then I definitely suggest that you do, because they're not a platform of censorship, and they're improving that user experience almost daily over there. All right, today's subject: Democrat versus Republican, and this is something I've touched on before in past videos, but I'm going to delve into it here a little bit today, because I get these comments and stuff about this subject, Democrat, Republican, and all this stuff, and people just assume because I voted for Trump that I'm a hardcore MAGA Republican and all this shit. Okay, and I honestly don't believe that. Now, the MAGA movement's big. Not taken away from that. Make America Great Again. That's awesome. I love it. But I believe that most people are in the middle with me. Somewhere in the middle. They're not die-hard Republicans, vote Republican no matter what. They're not die-hard Democrats, vote Democrat no matter what. I believe that the biggest portion of us are in the middle. And there's a few of us who understand that whole Democrat-Republican thing is just a game. It's just a game. Those, we call them rhinos. At least people are waking up to that. Republican in name only. All right? And that's what they are. And they could be dinos, Democrats in name only. They're working for the system. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about me. They don't give a shit about their constituents. They don't give a shit about our freedom. They don't care. They're being paid to vote in certain directions, and that's it. Once they get up to a certain level in the government, they are not Democrat or Republican anymore. They're Microsoft or Pfizer or Amazon. That's how they vote. They don't vote Democrat or Republican. That's just to keep us divided. And they've got big key hot topics that you have to, they're either yes or no, right? Abortion, good or bad. There's no, you're either pro-choice or pro-life. There's no middle ground in there where we can come together and harmoniously agree. No. So you either fall on one side of that line or the other. You're either a Republican or a Democrat. And that's by design. That is by design. All that kind of stuff. So these hot topics that keep us divided into Republican or Democrat. Second Amendment. You either believe we have the Second Amendment or believe that nobody should have guns. There's no middle line where we get like airsoft guns or something to defend ourselves with. That any middle line is just ridiculous. Same thing with abortion. Any middle ground there that you could come up with is just patently ridiculous. So we have to be divided one side or the other, Democrat or Republican. And they divide us with these things. They keep us divided. They keep these things in that there are so many more important topics to discuss in the media, but they don't want to talk about them. They want to blow up these things that are not meaningless, but less important. All right? We've had our Second Amendment for the entire history of this nation. But they're sending billions of dollars overseas, and our country is being invaded by illegal immigrants. But it's the Second Amendment that people want to talk about. It's Roe v. Wade. Now that got sent down to the states, so it's decided by the states. The people vote on it whether they want to have abortion legal in their state or not. In my opinion, that's the way it should be. The people should decide on every single thing, except those that are listed in the Constitution that shall not be infringed upon. Those cannot be decided by the state. So this whole Democrat-Republican thing is just a big smokescreen to hide the truth. That they work for the banks, they work for the big corporations. What happens is these huge banks that control countries, they manipulate countries, called a central bank. And there's one big central bank, and there are lesser central banks, just like lesser branches of smaller banks. But this is the one world huge bank. And it's got lesser branches of these central banks in each country. Our central bank is called the Federal Reserve. It's a privately owned. Now, to get money from this Federal Reserve, to these big banks to lend out this money, they've got to comply. These companies have to comply, right? So if a big bank pushes down this DEI stuff and says, this is the list of stuff you have to do if you want to get loans in the future, if you want to continue to get economic help, assistance at decent interest rates, you gotta comply with this DEI list. So that's why all these big companies are pushing this DEI shit and destroying our society, destroying our culture, trying to. And while they are doing this, we're concerned with these other topics, right? these hot button emotional topics we're all discussing and talking about. Now, Donald Trump, here's the thing about Trump. He was a Democrat. He's voted Democrat his entire life, but he realized that, now these are his words, this is what he said, he realized that the Democratic Party had left him, that he could not, when he decided to run for president, he considered running under the Democratic ticket, but he just didn't agree with any of that crap, all that trans, DEI, woke stuff, warmongering stuff that they're doing over there. He just could not run under that ticket. He had zero chance of running as a Democrat and talking about MAGA and peace and prosperity and, you know what I mean, and energy self-sufficiency and all this. He wouldn't make it, so he had to run under the Republican ticket. But that's the way the system is set up. Now, to beat the system, we have to get somebody in there that can break it from the inside. Because I hear all this stuff about oh, we just refuse to comply. We don't vote. Not voting, if every conservative, normal thinking person, just not Republican, not Democrat, just free thinking, common sense human being decided, hey, this is wrong, which it is, and we abstained and said we're not going to vote, all of those whack job leftists will still vote and they will win. So we cannot completely abandon the system. We have to get somebody inside the system who will break it from within. That's the only way. So we must vote. And we must vote for outsiders who are going in under the Republican ticket. Yes, the Republican ticket is a joke. The Republican politicians are useless, just the same. They're exactly the same as Democratic politicians. The Democrats and Republicans up there, they're exactly the same. There's no difference in them. The only difference is down here on our level where we can bicker about, you think they give a shit about anything up there? Well, they're raking in their millions of dollars in their stock fraud, insider trading shit. They don't care. And here's another thing that makes me have faith in Trump. All of his cabinet picks from his first term were from the inside, and they all screwed him, right? I mean, most of them screwed him. He picked a 4-star general as his Secretary of Defense. That guy was worthless, screwed him. He was just a cog in the machine. This time, he's picking people from the outside. Tulsi Gabbard was a congresswoman or a senator or something, but they basically kicked her out. They treated her so bad once they realized that she had sense, and so she just got out of politics because it was so corrupt and immoral she couldn't be in there. Now, so she's completely on the outside, been rejected by the system, or she rejected the system, one or the other. Now, he picked her and put her in there to break shit up. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, they're entrepreneurs, completely outside the system, got nothing to do with politics. Trump scoops them up and puts them in there with a wrecking ball. The Peter Hedge, whatever, the guy for Secretary of Defense, the Fox News guy, he's a staunch America First guy, honored veteran, and he's going to get in there and bust shit up. So all these people, his cabinet this time, and I might be forgetting somebody, but his cabinet are all from outside the system this time. So that gives me faith in Trump this time around. He learned from last time, and he's not picking those corrupt, sick people that are already entrenched in the system who just talk a good game, right? So he's taking outsiders and he's going in to bust shit up. Now, we'll see how successful he is, because they're going to fight him. It's a battle. So there's that. That's why Trump is outside the system. Trump is in the middle with me and a lot of us. He was a Democrat. Now he's a Republican, which I think is a good thing, which I think is a plus in my mind on him, that he feels like he's in the middle and he couldn't stay with the Democrats, so he had to come over and run on the Republican ticket because that's the only option he had. Look at RFK this time. He tried to run as an independent, couldn't even get any traction. So, oh, that's the guy I forgot, RFK. He's outside the system. He's been fighting the system his whole life. He's been fighting for the environment. He's been fighting for the people's rights against... Well, I'm about to get myself in trouble. RFK, get my video yanked again. RFK's been fighting his whole life against the system. Put it like that. Y'all can figure out, if you don't know what RFK's been fighting for, go ahead and look it up. Because if I say it, then you won't hear it. YouTube censors and my fellow Gen X liberal snitches will make sure nobody else hears it. So I'm not going to say it. But anyway, he's taking these people from the outside and he's taking them in there with him, which I like. I can get it. I can get on that train. So even if you're not a fan of Trump or a fan of voting, a fan of the Republican and Democrat dichotomy there, that whole thing, which I am not. I see that as a big smokescreen, a big mummer's farce. It's just bullshit, this whole Republican Democrat thing. The real battle is between us normal, sane, thinking people and the rich and powerful who are injecting this weird bullshit into our culture. That's the battle. And we've got to, at least in the beginning, play by the rules and vote people in who will go in there and break it. Break the system and help us fight from within. Because we can't do it from without, because if we all refuse to take part, then they win. By default. Because they're not going to refuse to take part. They've got those lunatics brainwashed. There's no helping them. There's no reaching across the aisle and waking those people up. They're too deep into it. They're shaving their heads and shit because Trump won it. It's amazing how deep they are in the quagmire of lies and bullshit. So that's pretty much my message today, is at least consider what's trying to be done here and at least think about helping us take part. Do your part. You can't do everything that America needs, but America needs everything you can do. And I'll leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to become a member of Gen X Thinks and join the battle versus wokeism and social destruction, I'll put that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. I appreciate those of you who do that. Thank you very much. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I'll put that link down in the description too. If you're interested in Gen X gear, you can head over to Redbubble and check out the stuff we have over there. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff. Pretty cool stuff. T-shirts, stickers, coffee mugs, hoodies, all kinds of cool stuff. But I'll put that link down in the description as well. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. Thank you very much. That helps out a lot. I sincerely appreciate it. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those thoughts down in the comments, or you can email us, and the email's over on the channel page. And as always, Stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.